What a week. Welcome, everybody. We are the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox One community. Welcome to another show. We're at podcast number 278. As always, I am joined by the bros, the XoneBros. First is Mr. McSpicy.
Hello.
It's Jordan the Man.
Hey.
And I am X1 Howdy Doody. Borderlands 3. It's here. We've waited all our lives. We've waited for it to get here. People in chat are
pickle, your gif. Oh my gosh. Gifs. Sorry, they already derailed us from the show.
Speaking of which, if you want to join us live, you can do so each and every single week over at Mixer, mixer.com/X1Bros. It's also a great way to support the show. Just sit in and watch all our old podcasts. But Borderlands 3, it's here. Jordan, McSpicy, myself, we all got a chance to play. Does it live up to the hype? First, I want Mr. McSpicy. I want to get your thoughts, your impressions.
That was pretty epic.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. McSpicy. Borderlands 3. You did play it at E3, so you kind of had a pre-thoughts on the game. But now having jumped in, does it live up to your expectations? What are your thoughts, impressions? Go.
Right now, it's my game of the year.
Wow.
I love this game.
Wow.
I'm only like 10.
First of all, can I say they picked a smoking hot redhead, so that's
Lilith. That's Lilith from
That's real life Lilith.
Yeah, Lilith is smoking hot.
Yeah.
Siren.
Yeah. And you get keep going on that story. It gets good.
Smoking hot Siren.
I love this game.
Game of the year though. So far. Yeah.
I absolutely love it. The things they added. Well, first of all, I'm a huge Borderlands fan.
Sure, absolutely.
Love Borderlands. The things that they added to this game there's so many just nice additions, but they added more kind of gathering things. Like you can gather things for your vehicle now, that and you can customize your vehicle. You can customize your person. You can customize a lot of things. The guns blow my mind. They are so cool. Guns now, some guns have different abilities that you can flip on and flip off. Like I had a sniper that was a sniper, and then I pressed down on the D-pad, and it turns into a grenade launcher.
Wow.
And it's the coolest how it comes together. The gunplay is awesome. It felt a little weird at first. I got used to it. Totally used to it now. I can't even tell you how much I'm enjoying this game. Me and Jordan stayed up pretty much all night playing this game.
No sleep.
Well,
as I was going through today, every mission that I was doing was saying, "Look, Spicy has already done this. Jordan has already done this mission."
That's
the thing.
I love
super
that they
cool.
do that.
It's super interactive, right? Like it really connects you with your friends.
I would call that a quality of life thing, that you can see your friends that are doing certain things. They're showing their achievements. If you're on the map, which I think is the best map ever in a game I've ever used, because it's like a 3D map. You can see elevation. It's got that, like, was it Fable 2 or 3 where you could see where your friends are by that blue ball that floats around?
Albion orbs.
You can see where your friends are on the map that aren't playing with you, but you can see where they are. They have little, like, green dots.
Yeah.
So you can quickly, if you wanted to, join up with them. I got to say, for a launch title, even though this is technically a single-player game, it's played like a multiplayer game, very much so. It's even split screen.
Oh, yeah. I love that. And that's the first option they present to you. Do you want to play split screen? Then they give you another option when you first load up the game and you go in on how you want to handle loot.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, don't just dictate to me, which I pick the new way where you have your individual loot tables just because I like that. But the options that they're just giving you, like, do you want to play split screen? Do you want to play with your friends? How do you want to play it? Like, just on point. They've just figured everything out, and it's on point at every point.
It is. There's so many quality of life adjustments that they made, and just they added so much. I have it. There's a comment in chat by Super Shocker. He says it kind of looks just like the old ones.
Yeah.
I would argue against that. This is one of the prettiest games I have ever seen, and it's cel-shaded. Yeah. And I don't know how they made a cel-shaded game look so gorgeous.
Well, it's the textures. The textures are just on point.
It is so pretty.
It does. If you're sorry, it does look like the other ones in the fact that, like, it's the same artwork. It's cel-shaded.
Yeah.
This is just taken, like, there's way more detail in everything, right? And it's just a lot more nuanced.
I don't have like a list. I didn't make a list of all my favorites, but I'll mention just some of the things that I really, really enjoy. When me and Jordan were fighting, it was right before a boss fight, which boss fights in this game.
Is that why you lost your voice? Your voice is a little bit because you were screaming doing Borderlands all night long?
Funny enough, this was 2 days ago. I'm not sick, but I woke up with a sore voice with a voice.
That's why. That's why. You
'Cause
didn't
I've been
rest your
screaming?
vocals. You were screaming with Jordan.
Maybe.
This is the first boss fight right here, and it's good. It's fun. Like everyone. So the personality, Borderlands has always had insane personality, but it's not. So for instance, Rage 2 has insane personality, but Rage 2's story is just not as fleshed out as Borderlands. Borderlands, while it has an insane story or insane personality, it doesn't have like the story is good. It's really good.
I love this game. What I was saying was before one of the bosses, I saw, in like Diablo and in other games, they have that little loot goblin.
Yep.
They have loot goblins in this game. And he runs across with his backpack full of loot, and it's a loot and shoot, right? So
Yeah.
we're all like, oh no,
Get him!
He's running away in the middle of a fight. I'm playing as a siren. I think her abilities are fantastic.
Yeah, for those, so there's different classes. Now the Siren is a for those who've never played Borderlands, can you explain your Siren class?
So Siren is like the magic class in a certain way. The nice thing about Borderlands 3 is you can play her as you want to. You can play her as a close range or a far range. I'm more of a far range magic user.
Yeah.
That's how I like to play games. But all our abilities, we were playing also with Barbara Blake and Jordan. We all chose different classes. All our abilities synergize so good with each other. Jordan has... he's the Princess Bride guy. I don't know. He's like the soldier.
Yeah, he actually sounds exactly like Conor McGregor.
Oh yeah, and he
sounds like Conor McGregor.
He uses contraptions and stuff.
Yeah, he's
as
got
his
a
ability.
turret.
He's got
Yeah.
3. I'm actually going to be respecking because the ability that I didn't use last night is actually really good.
He's specking up, baby.
Well, what's so cool about my ability that I'm using with the siren right now is I have a hand that comes out of the ground and holds people, even big people. Minus bosses, it just damages them, but it holds them in place for like 10 seconds. So we can isolate people to shoot. It almost reminds me of like a Guild Wars or Warrior style MMO where the Hunter class will mark a target and then they're debuffed.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same concept where I isolate one person, pick them up in the air with a hand, and then we all just target that person, and then then they're dead.
Yeah.
You can upgrade that to have it be 4 hands. Well, it goes to 1, and if we kill that person, it'll grab another person, and it'll just keep grabbing them automatically.
That's so cool.
It's extremely fun. It's extremely pretty. There's so many just quality of life changes that they made in the game, and they added so much customizability. The guns feel good. I can't even. This is like my favorite. This is my game of the year right now.
So Devout Cannon in chat says, so is this like an open world RPG shooter? Yes. Yes, basically that's
This
what
is
it is,
the
but it's a
game-
loot shooter.
This is the game Destiny based a lot of their stuff off of.
Yeah, I mean, it was Destiny before Destiny was Destiny.
Now that being said, this is not Destiny. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
don't go in thinking this is because I've seen a lot of people. Well, not a lot, but I've seen some articles or some comments on the internet, not articles, where people are like, "Oh, I don't enjoy it because I thought it'd be more like Destiny." It's not Destiny.
No, it's
Correct.
its own
It's
unique
its own
style.
thing.
It's its own unique game.
But this was
it's more
the
single,
first
It's
looter
more
shooter.
single player. It's offline more. 4-player co-op.
I would almost. I think it's built for 4-player co-op.
Oh
Not
no, it
necessarily
definitely. I
single
mean, that's
player, you know
where
what I
that's
mean?
where
Like,
it shines.
it yeah.
However, having said that, I've only played the single player so far, and I agree with Mark. This is up there. Like, this is definitely in contention for Game of the Year so far for me as well. Like, but granted, we're all Borderlands fans too, so there's that. But that's not like, even if you've never played a Borderlands game and you play this, you'll see why it's just so fun. The shooting is on point. The mechanics are on point. And like I said, you can play by yourself. I did as Mose, which is a tank character. And can
Yeah.
I say it's so much fun to be
I call her the Titanfall character.
a tank?
Yeah, because she can
And she
come out
brings
in a
her-
mech.
She
Yeah.
brings in her
And
mech.
the mech is awesome. And when
Dude,
you upgrade it, you
blows-
get the shield.
It blows
Yeah.
stuff away, man.
So awesome.
Although I get a little bit overconfident because I'll be like in the middle of 20 people, just bah, 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 and the fuel meter goes down. I'm not paying attention to it, and then like 50 people are coming out, and then it goes away. And I'm like, oh shoot, and I just have to run or I die. Normally I die.
What's really exciting? Well, first of all, they've like upped everything to 10, in addition to all the quality of life features they've improved, right? But what's really cool about so usually in Borderlands, like, it had a replayability because you'd play through one character, then you play through a different character, and they have different abilities.
Yeah.
This one even ups that because, for example, your skill tree is just passive abilities, right? That you upgrade, but my character can actually, like, each character has their own set of skills that they can do. Like, my character, it's not just put points in the skill tree and that's your ability, right? My character can actually have 2 abilities active at once, right? Whereas Mark character Like each character kind of has their own specialization,
Yeah.
which is really really cool. Like
There's so many cool things. There's a T-Bucks in chat asks, is there PvP? There is actually duels. So it's not
you get an
full,
achievement for winning.
It's not full PvP like arena maps or anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and you do get an achievement for winning. Me and Jordan dueled. I won't mention who won, but it was this guy. So,
But if we dueled again, I think I could win.
Oh,
Because-
yeah.
No, check this out. No.
Okay.
Well, because in addition to skill tree, so right now
paying attention.
No. Check this out. What I figured out I could do last night after we got off. So, like I said, I can use 2 active abilities at once, right? So right now I have my drone and then I have the shield. But what I didn't realize is even within those abilities, like I can completely control my drone when I use it, which is super fascinating.
I want to see how you do that because you were controlling.
Yeah,
it
I told him go here, here, and
way
here. Right?
good.
Yeah.
It was like
So-
you were doing, like you were actually.
Whereas,
not-
like, let's take Borderlands 2 for example. Playing a similar class, the soldier, where he just throws out his turret and the turret just auto does stuff. I have more control, so I can control my drone and do whatever I want. And then I realized when I throw down my shield, I can actually pick the shield up and put it on my gun and walk around with it.
yeah.
So, which is really cool, which I didn't know last night, or else I would have done. But no, and that's just my character,
You're
right?
so dumb.
Having those two.
All right. Well,
active
I didn't
things.
know I could use all my powers too.
Yeah. I don't know. But that's because I was explaining that to Mark, and then Mark mentioned what he could do with his character. So the replayability, like going back and playing a different character, you're not just adding points to a skill tree. There's more stuff within that skill tree that you can do.
There is so much replayability because did you notice there's a locked screen on your menu that says you can't even unlock these skill trees yet until you beat the game.
Yeah,
So you can
because the new
NG
plus,
yeah,
game mode plus, yeah.
So this game, the other games were meant for NG plus too, but this is really meant for NG plus.
Yeah.
It looks like. So I'm telling you, this game is just fantastic.
And Mark
for me.
already said it once, but I know they're randomly generated, but whoever like built their random generator gun put together mechanic, because their guns are some of the coolest guns I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And my favorite mode right now is the alternate fire mode, which Mark talked about as well. Switching between, like, for example, I have a burst and then, like, remember that one gun I showed you yesterday? So I had this one gun where it looked
where
down.
it switches the.
Yeah, so it looked right down the scope, and then when I hit my alternate fire, it turned to the side to look down a different scope to give me, like, a close range. So it's mid-range and close range, kind of like what you did in the old Call of Duty games. But anyway, the alternate fire feature is one of my favorite features.
my the first pistol that I got in the
it's
game.
a rocket launcher.
It has a freaking rocket
Yeah,
launcher.
yeah.
And it feels good, right?
Yeah.
Like it just
Some of the
cool.
some of my favorite ones actually are when the alternate fire is kind of like a crowd control. So I had an alternate fire weapon that tased them, and then I changed it back to my bullets, and I actually have the best alternate fire right now. I have a sniper that alternates between shock and corrosive damage.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jedi Scum, is this cross-play? He asks in chat. For everybody, that's a great question. Gearbox has said that it's not cross-play as of yet, but after launch, they said that sometime after launch, they will be making it cross-play. They'll be doing whatever they need to do to make it cross-play.
And hopefully they put it on the Switch.
So Loyal Doyle in chat says, I think I'm actually turned off by all the crazy gun combos. What's interesting about that, Loyal Doyle, is when you get the right gun, you just smile.
yeah, it's insane.
I've had lots of bad guns, and then you just, you sell them or whatever. You get that gun that just feels good. With all these guns, you're going to get bad guns too.
Well, it's the same concept as Diablo. Think about it, if you've played Diablo, you get a bunch of stuff, and you're like, I don't like that item, I don't like this item, and then you pick up a weapon that just puts you in God mode.
Well, Jordan had a shotgun yesterday, and I don't know. So, what engine are they using? Do you know what engine they're using?
I think it's Unreal.
Whatever
I'll
it
check.
is.
I think you're right.
The,
it is Unreal.
The ragdoll mechanics or whatever they're using are so good. Jordan would shoot their leg with a shotgun, and their leg would fly back, and they would fly back in the air spinning and land, and they're not dead yet. They just get launched.
Well,
Some of the shotguns have so much
Well,
punch.
dude, not only that, but when you shoot someone, you bring them down, and they're like bleeding. And then you stab them in the head with a knife, and
Well,
their head explodes.
I got an achievement for. I had a blade on my gun. I stabbed them, and I got an achievement for using my gun blade.
They're
It's so cool.
the shotgun's cool because like the psychos, if you know what a psycho is, it's a person with a melee weapon. They'll
they
jump
come
at you,
running
and
at
if you
you.
hit them with a shotgun, they'll bounce back, right? So it's almost like a deflection mechanic, right?
There was one guy that was running away from me, and we were all shooting at him, and he was climbing over a rail to get over, and then we killed him. And how he this sounds terrible. How he limped off made me laugh because it's like it looks so good.
Yeah.
Like they did. Their engine is fantastic.
It may be because like the last Borderlands we played were 1 and 2 and pre-sequel, right, which are still very good games in their own right, but they are a little bit older, so they don't have all these new features in them. But even just the little stuff, like when you kill a bandit, what they say, some of the stuff they say is hilarious.
Like one guy was like, I know I'm dying, but I want you to never forget my name. It's
and they died.
There's some the sayings are so good.
There was one where that same thing happened. He was like, I need you to tell my kids that. And he died.
So Jedi Scum in chat says, if I get this game, it would be my first Borderlands. Would I need to watch a recap to get the story? That's a good question. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I mean, so there's little things like, for instance, this character right here that we just saw.
It's Marcus.
Was Marcus. So there's stuff that is very. I mean, there's nods. Like, there's characters that you're going to know. Claptrap, you're going to know. There's characters that are going to know that cross in, and you're like, hey, I know that guy, blah, blah, blah. This is what happened in the other ones. But it doesn't add to or take away from the story in the least.
Yeah.
Like, it's a completely separate standalone
it
story.
basically, at the very beginning, there's a small cutscene that shows basically like, hey, this is what a Vault Hunter is. And then it kind of just... I wouldn't necessarily call it I guess it kind of does recap a little bit, but it basically just sets up your story for you so you kind of know where you're at. And then in Borderlands fashion, it plays one of the greatest songs you'll ever hear.
Oh, it does. In fact, I streamed this when the opening scene, and I was like, guys, we're not going to turn on music right now because Borderlands always has epic intro music.
Always.
Did not disappoint.
Nope, very good.
I love their nods to the old games too because they have the dog, sitting there that got ran over before, and then they show.
Well, and what else is funny too, if you notice, they play the music and then the bus pulls up. And remember, in the first Borderlands, you were on the bus when it pulled up while the music was playing, and then you got off. Like,
they did,
so good.
So they have
lots of nods to it.
To answer that question, they have nods to the old ones, but it's kind of a basic story. You're a vault hunter, and you can probably guess what that does.
Yeah,
you go find vaults, and you find loot in vaults.
And vaults are raids, mini dungeons. That's all a vault is. And you'll just get to know the different characters, the different clans, the factions, the different enemies, the Skags, for instance, they're a big thing. The Psychos are a big thing, right? So stuff like that.
And I've like always, well, I mean, in the second one anyway, but I think they have good bad guys this time around. They're streamers.
Yeah,
I love their thing.
They're like Twitch streamers.
Like, follow, and obey. They're Twitch streamers. Yeah,
that's so funny.
They're
funny.
streaming with.
Now that being said, I'm probably I've made it past the
that's
first
that gun. There's that
level,
pistol.
yeah. But I will say this: I do think, and this is hard to beat because when you have the perfect bad guy, you can't ever. I do think Handsome Jack at this point is a better bad guy, but the two new bad guys that they have, the what twins? The
Siren twins.
What's their?
I don't know that I can't.
They had a name anyway, but anyway, they're still really cool though.
They're identical. Well, they're not identical twins. They're twins, and you find
the
out.
Calypso twins.
Hey, yeah, that's up. Yeah.
Anyway.
To just put a cap on this, Bareback Slayer says this Borderlands is very beginner friendly. A simple video will throw you right in. Completely agree. And for anybody that's sitting on the fence on Borderlands, well, Jordan, do you agree with Spicy? Is this also up as of right now?
Oh
for
yeah,
Game of the
this
Year
is
in
definitely.
contention, at
Oh
least?
yeah, most definitely. This is. I think we were 20 minutes in, and Mark said this is one of the best games.
We're getting.
I know. I did. I said that.
It's true. I have so much fun with it. It's so good.
So what makes a good game for me is fun, and this game is so
It really
much
is.
fun.
Even by yourself, because I played it by myself, and it's a blast.
This game is so awesome. It actually power cycled my Xbox.
That's
I'm not
true.
even kidding. I loaded it up and I hit start game, and my whole Xbox just shut off.
And then he joined the game, and we were fine.
No, it's very good. For those of you that are on the fence about it, it is a loot shooter, which means you go out, you shoot things, you get in awesome battles, and you get awesome loot. You then change your tech tree, you spec up, you RPG, so to speak, and then you go out and you do it some more. But it's so much more than a loot shooter, in my opinion. It's just It's this open world RPG loot shooter. That like it's all of those things combined.
And I just want to say one more thing, and Mark kind of already covered it, but this is really important. In this game, Borderlands 3, they have gone all out with their boss fights. They're like real
Mechanics.
boss fights.
Mechanics
Yeah,
are crazy.
like
Even
real,
like I said, even that first one, he has mechanics. It's simple mechanics, but he
Yeah.
still has mechanics.
And then you get to the
speaker guy?
The speaker guy, which is the demo we played at E3 if anybody played it. But anyway, his mechanics are legit. And then there's more. Like they're and I heard that they actually hired an actual boss designer, like an encounter designer.
Well, I
and
hope
they're-
so.
Yeah.
We need bosses. Do you know anybody that can make bosses? I know a boss guy.
I know a boss designer.
I'll
He designs bosses.
So, but in this game, it's
Yeah, and if you
it's
are
awesome.
on the fence, honestly, the best way to experience this game is in multiplayer. I mean, just listen to Jordan and Mark and their experiences. It is just a blast. If you even slightly like Destiny, you will love Borderlands.
and just for the record, Claptrap is hilarious.
Dude, he's hilarious. So they made a big deal because the voice is different. The guy that voiced Claptrap is different.
Oh, really?
And that's why
I didn't even
a lot of
notice.
people got mad
Sounds the
about
exact
it.
same to me.
I didn't even know.
I
He's
know,
a
well, that's the
robot.
thing. And that's the thing because they made a little bit of a deal about it because he used to be an employee and so he for Gearbox, so he just did it, and now he's no longer working, and so they asked him to come back and do it again, and he said, well, and he asked for more money, which I don't blame him for doing that.
Yeah.
But I imagine they were just like, well, we just roboticized his voice anyways, so still no.
I don't blame him for asking
And then
for more
just got
money, and
someone-
I don't blame
I don't blame
Gearbox
them
for saying no.
Exactly. And so I was worried going into it. It's like, oh no, Claptrap.
No,
But no,
there's-
Claptrap is hilarious. It's the lines. Like, for instance, the very first thing you start out with, this isn't a story spoiler or anything like that. He's like, okay, be quiet. We got to sneak. And then as he's sneaking you up to the rocks, he's singing, we got to be quiet. Ooh. And it's just like, it's hilarious. That is Claptrap.
They're-
He's hilarious.
The funniest part that he's done for me, and Mark, you got to this part.
Yeah.
But he compares something about himself to the stars in the space, and it was the funniest comment I've ever heard in my entire life. while you're flying,
That
it was so funny. It was,
It's a really good
yeah,
game.
it was.
You
know which part I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it, was- it killed me.
Yeah, he's funny. Then they have a lot of good characters in this game. I liked it. I mean, I'm honest. I really like this game. I'm going to be playing this a lot.
No, yeah, well, it's just they've upped everything to 10. Like the customization is insane. I have a Marcus bobblehead on my character. Actually, I changed it. I'm now Bloodhound from Apex. I got a Bloodhound skin.
Got a Bloodhound skin from Apex.
So I mean, you can customize the crap out of your character with all the skins that you can get. Right. The skill trees are insanely customizable. Each character has a different skill tree / power that they can do. The guns are obviously incredibly customizable because you know they're random.
Well,
But,
and so yeah, I've seen some opinions in chat saying some people have a turnoff, thinking that there's billions of different kinds of guns.
or that it's overwhelming, or that the art
it's
style
not.
doesn't fit it. It's really not.
It's just like a Diablo or a Destiny or something. It's a different it's a different gun. It does different things. It feels different,
Yeah.
and you just try it out, and you're like, oh man, I love this gun.
Well, think of your guns as your gear, because there's really no like gear modifiers in this game. Like you don't pick up a +10 helmet, right? All the gear and stats are on your gun. So just think of it like we playing a lot of Warcraft lately, right?
Yeah.
So in Warcraft, there's millions of items of gear, right? And you just upgrade as you get them. Same thing with the guns. The guns are just they take the place of everything else, right?
Yeah.
The guns are the gear that you get.
So Death Star in chat says, I was confused. Does each character have different ults or
Yes.
have multiple ults? Yes, you have different. You can play the game how you want to play the game, especially like my character. My character is the Siren. Her name is Amara. She's like the superpowered
Magic.
witch of
Yeah.
the universe.
Sorceress.
There's only sorceress. There's only 6 of them in the universe, just so you know. And I'm
Does
one
that
of them.
include the? I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. Anyways, so I can spec my ults to be close range or long range, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the ult that I am using right now, I mentioned it before. I grab people by. It almost reminds me
By
of
the
like
balls.
Mass Effect powers, where you can like use 0 energy and like launch them into 0, gravity, and they just float there for a sec. It's kind of the same concept like that, and then you can just take them out that way. But yeah, you can. Every character has different ults, and you can play any character the way you want to play it.
Like
pretty
the
much.
character I'm playing, I can actually have 2 ults active at once if I decide to sacrifice my grenades, which in certain builds is worth it, in certain builds is not, right? It just depends.
Yeah.
But what's super cool about it is I feel like every character is a completely different play style. I mean, I guess you could say that in the old Borderlands 1 and 2, but it was more so, it was still a first-person shooter, right? Like, the way my character's built, I play completely different than you.
Yeah.
Because I have to, the way he's built,
Yeah.
which, again, adds to the playability. Oh, and by the way, this Borderlands does have one of the greatest characters of all time. His name is Vaughn. And he wears underwear and a cape.
Oh, he wears whitey tighties, a cape, and big sneakers.
And the
And
way
I think the way they create him, I think Vaughn has to be a guy in the office that everyone hates, right? Like,
dude, he was
like,
so funny.
Let's turn him into a character.
Did you see how he ran?
Dude.
When like he
The
runs
animation
with,
where he
it's
ran
so
is just
funny.
great.
I think the comedy is good. It's
It
a
is
good
really
game.
good. It's
So.
really good. McSpicy, before we move on from this topic, last words about Borderlands 3 so far for you.
Check it out. As always, don't just take our word for it. It's like a reading rainbow thing. Don't take my word for it. But look at people playing, look at their reaction, watch some streams, watch YouTube videos. I think this is my favorite game of the year so far. So, which is a bold statement, I know, but I love this game.
Yeah, Jordan, final words, Borderlands 3.
Pretty much the same. I think it's a fantastic game. If you like the Borderlands series, you're gonna love this one, and it's definitely a contender for game of the year.
Yeah,
Did Red Dead come out this year? No, it came out last year.
Last year.
Yeah. This one's probably up there.
I would agree. This one is up there. It's just, it's good. It's really good. If you, like I said, if you even slightly like Destiny, you will love Borderlands. It's that type of game, especially if you have friends that are playing and you can play with them. But even if you can't, it's an absolute blast. So well done, Gearbox. Borderlands 3 is here. That does us on our Borderlands thoughts. Let's move on to the next segment of our show.
Do you want me to hit the news bumper?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Okay. Is that what that meant? I don't
That's
know.
what it
You
meant.
use different phrasing this
I
time.
know, I always do. I just try to keep you on your toes.
Um,
Spicy. This is the portion of the show where we, talk about all the things Xbox One. Jordan, what is happening
Yes.
in the world that is Xbox One this week?
So, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
The Kakarot.
It got a release date.
Oh, release
Yes,
date is-
just so everybody knows, this is the actual action RPG Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
that we've
Yeah.
been talking about
That we've
for a
deserved.
while that we deserve.
Is this it on screen or is this a different Dragon Ball
This
Z
is
game?
it on screen.
Wow.
This is Dragon Ball Z
Kakarot.
Kakarot.
Oh,
gameplay.
Kakarot.
So this is just the fighting, of course. I don't think this
But-
shows too much of the
well,
Is that
RPG.
the right
elements.
way to say that?
Yeah, Kakarot.
It sounds
Kakarot.
French.
Kakarot.
Well, maybe-
Kakaro.
Kakaroo.
Maybe Goku.
Does the T silent?
Kakaroo. That's how it's said.
Kaka.
Kakaroo. Dude, but,
Dragon
look
Ball
at,
Z Kaka.
but you do get to see like the world and
Yeah, the
stuff
world
like that,
and everything like that,
in
yeah,
the backgrounds, which is super cool.
So, which is really, it's really fun. Hey, there's
Oh,
Nimbus.
my
He's
God.
riding on
Oh, my
Nimbus.
God.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
Now that's
We're-
cool.
So everybody,
That's all.
Everybody listening, we're watching an actual video of
And
Dragon Ball Z
Goku.
Kakarot
and they're
on
flying
Nimbus.
around town.
Yeah.
On Nimbus. I actually have that mount in World of Warcraft.
Do you really?
The
Well, it's not
Nimbus
called
mount?
Nimbus, but I call it Nimbus because it looks exactly the same. It's
Dude,
basically a floating
This
cloud.
is all everyone's going to want to do in this game. That's all I'm going to want to do. Fly around on Nimbus.
and then just fight that guy.
That's
then
what she
just-
said.
So anyway, we do have a release date of January 17th, 2020. So right there at the beginning of the year. Next year's lineup for the first 4 or 5 months is going to be big.
It's huge.
Going to be huge.
That's what she said.
ginormous. Another game that's coming out next year, Cyberpunk 2077, today.
Yes.
Or not today. Earlier this
Another game that's coming out next year today.
week. No, I was going to say today announced, but it was earlier this week. They are going to put in multiplayer.
They are
to
indeed.
2077.
So there was a news story.
Wait, multiplayer?
Yeah. There was a news story a couple weeks ago where it was leaked that they were working on multiplayer projects. They came out and said those news stories are not correct. It was a translation error. Remember, if you remember that news
Yep.
story.
Yep.
But this week they did confirm
They got-
that after launch.
They got someone that actually translated properly.
After launch, they will be including multiplayer in this. I think they're looking at Rockstar, and I think they're looking at Grand Theft Auto Online, and I think they're saying to themselves, this game is going to be able to do that for us.
Yeah,
and I
you
think
have the
that's
open world.
I think that's how they're looking at multiplayer. And why not? I mean, look, the city's already going to have all of. I mean, it's filled with bars. It's filled with all. If they do it right, it's going to be interesting to
No,
see what
I
they
actually 100% agree with you. I think it's going to be a similar multiplayer setup to Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption, where you're going to have your small team deathmatch stuff, like all that, but you'll also have the overworld, right?
Yeah.
So, but what's really cool about this is now this is not going to be available at launch. They said they're working on it. This is going to be something coming after.
Yeah.
They said this is a single player game. we are going to do some DLCs that have single player content, and then after that, we invite you to come play multiplayer,
Yeah,
right? So
super
it's
cool.
it's probably going to be like a year after launch or something like that. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon.
Dude, I just want to drive that car around, and I want to buy
Yeah.
it in my.
But they did post. They
in my
are looking.
Sandbox online gameplay.
They are looking for multiplayer designers. So
Yeah.
if that's what you're good at,
Then go apply.
maybe go apply
Go
to
Well, that
CD
apply.
makes
Projekt Red.
sense.
Yeah.
That they're making multiplayer and getting
Maybe
a
they're
multiplayer
going to
designer.
try and get that boss guy from Gearbox.
Hey, I'm a boss guy. You guys need bosses. I'm your guy.
Go apply, move to Poland, and make awesome multiplayer
Yeah,
for us.
yeah. So really cool. So yeah, that's super cool.
You
Also,
just said
you know,
cool like 5 times.
good. That's because it's really cool.
Wow, yes.
Yeah. Multiplayer in Cyberpunk. You know what else is cool?
Huh.
Is Borderlands 3. There are some split screen performance issues. There's a few bugs, right, with the launch of any games. I actually noticed a couple bugs last night, and Gearbox is working on it, especially these split screen performance issues that they're having. So have no fear, your split screen will be fixed.
It will be.
Modern.
Okay.
Moving on to Modern Warfare.
We had some technical difficulties there. If you're watching,
Moving on to Modern Warfare. So if you own a PlayStation, you're probably playing Modern Warfare right now because the beta is going on. The beta for the Xbox will be coming in the next few weeks, so we'll be able to get to play it real soon.
Yeah.
Game
Look
looks
how
amazing.
good it looks.
Yeah, game
Look at
looks
that.
amazing. Looks
Oh, look
awesome.
at that.
Now, in this multiplayer round, like I said, it's only available for the PlayStation right now, but will be available for the Xbox in just the next few weeks here. It's actually full multiplayer matches. It's not just their gun mode or their gun game mode, or sorry, their 2v2 mode that they had. These are full team deathmatch modes, stuff like that, so this is really cool. But what this news story is about is, first of all, we have the multiplayer coming to Xbox in just a couple weeks here.
Yeah.
But in the multiplayer that people are playing right now is they did notice a slot for loot boxes. And there
Oh.
was actually the word loot box.
oh,
So, I mean, I'm not incredibly surprised that Call of Duty is doing this because it's been in the past Call of Duty games for probably the past 4 or 5 years now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's nothing new. Again, it all depends on how the developer does it. If it's nothing but cosmetics, that's fine. I feel like with a game like this, it does limit you on your cosmetics, so I don't know what
because
exactly
you're going
it'll be.
realistic
Yeah.
here. I mean, they did it with Black Ops, and Black Ops has these like cool glow in the dark looking skins that they throw.
But
over.
I feel like
but
it still fits more the Black Ops style than it does this
yeah,
Modern Warfare
it's nothing
style,
compared though to they are handicapped because it's nothing compared to like the gun skins that an Apex has.
Yeah,
for instance,
or like
right?
Borderlands can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
right? You
yeah.
know, I'm wearing a bobblehead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, so there is a loot box screen at the end of the match, so it'll be interesting.
I
to
mean,
see
I think
what,
that's what we're going to see. We're probably going to see a battle pass. That's the way to do it. I think it's the correct way to do it, and I think we're going to see something like that.
and maybe
definitely
it's some. I
come to
mean,
Call of Duty.
there has been no confirmation or denial, so it's just one of those things that was in that players saw there. So we'll see what it was,
Cannot
right?
confirm nor deny.
Speaking of in-game purchases, Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves is a
Let's
big
talk
one.
a little bit of Sea of
Pets.
Thieves. We got our.
You want a monkey? You want a pirate monkey? Well, now you can get
Yeah, now
one
you can
right
get
there.
it.
Look at him, and it's cool stuff. He like runs and hides and like reacts to whatever's happening in
it's
the world.
actually super cool. The pet system is on par. So, getting into the big news story. So you have your new update that came out Wednesday of this week called Smuggler's Fortune. It introduces the Pirate Emporium, which is basically the in-game store. Now you're thinking, oh shoot, Jordan, loot boxes, I hate those. No, let me tell you what's going on here. So. They're not loot boxes, which is already a plus for me. The reason I don't like loot boxes is because I don't know what I'm getting, right? If I want to gamble, I'll go to Vegas,
Oh yeah,
right?
it's the ultimate loot box.
Yeah.
the life loot box.
Yeah. So the reason I don't care for loot boxes is because I'm spending $1, for example, to get something random, right? I'm more of the person that I like to see it on the shelf and then buy it with
Yeah,
what
you're
I'm
a
getting, right?
Walmart guy, not a loot box guy.
Yeah. So there's no loot boxes. It's all you can see what you buy.
yeah.
Which is plus number one for me, and then there's no selling power, right? So
Yeah.
you can't buy like a plus 20 shovel to
No.
pull it up real
Yeah.
quick, right? So it's literally just cosmetics, and from what I can tell right now, the cosmetics are just
Pets
pets. Yeah, your pet
and game
dressing, and then like
game stuff.
game
like
stuff. So
Halo.
like you can buy a Banjo and Kazooie shirt. Or
Yeah,
chip or
ship,
whatever,
stuff
right?
like that,
So stuff like
sales.
that. Now, a big concern with a lot of people was, oh shoot, what about the exclusive events? Like when you do like a whatever certain event last year to get a cool hat, right? Those are all still event locked, right?
It's
if
like-
you earned it in the event, that's the only way you're going to get it. Now, that being said, the developer said they are going to come out with variants of those clothes that they'll probably sell. So it's still not like, for example, if they come out with a variant, Mark and David buy the variant, I can be like, oh yeah, look at that person, that sucks. I have the real one.
I have
right?
the real
So
one,
they're not going
dude.
to. I mean, I assume the variants are probably just going to be color differences, right? But anyway, now that being said, I have played the update for a little bit before I jumped into Borderlands this week. I don't necessarily mind the store because this is a live game.
Yeah, you
So
got to
they're
continue
coming
to
out.
support them.
Yeah, they're coming out. Every month they come out with a new update, which their updates have been on par. I've played the last couple updates. I've had a lot of fun with them. I've played with
it's
people
starting
here in
to
the
come.
community.
It's starting to
really
get to the next level.
Yeah, it's really doing really well. So I don't mind supporting the developer. I think the store is going, well, at least as of right now, it's not bad or anything. You can't buy all the cosmetics that are in the game. You still have to earn them, and you can't buy power, right?
Yeah.
Which is really good. And there's no loot boxes, so you can see what you're buying. The one thing I was a little upset with is I was super excited for a pet, and you do have to pay real money for a pet, which was kind of a bummer to me. For me, here in America, it was $6 for a pet, so I bought
not
it.
bad.
Well,
Did you
yeah,
get
it's
a
not
monkey?
bad. No, I got
Parrot.
I got the bird, but I didn't get the parrot. I got the parakeet because I thought it was the
Oh.
cutest.
Oh, he's
one.
the cutest.
And
Jordan
I will.
likes his cute stuff.
Yeah, no,
does
it's
like cute
it's
stuff.
so it's hilarious. First of all, I shot it out of a cannon, which is well worth $6.
you can shoot your
You can
pet
shoot
out
your
of
pet out of the
cannon.
cannon. It's hilarious.
Do they come back to you? Does he fly back?
Yeah,
to you?
no.
I got the parrot because it's the cutest. And
the
then I
first-
shot him out of the cannon.
And then I shot the hell of that bird, and it was great. Look at your bird. Look at there he goes.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
it was
and your
actually-
monkey, look, even underwater, he's holding his
Yeah.
breath.
Funny enough, having the
Those are
parrot,
so awesome.
having the animal was actually
at-
a really good feature.
Yeah, they'll dance with you if
yeah,
you're playing
so
music.
I sang a song and my parrot started dancing
Yeah.
with me. He does follow me around everywhere. So like when I get off the island, he'll come with me and he'll hang out. You can place him on certain parts in your on your
ship?
ship and stuff like that. He'll
And then-
move around. But
so,
he-
like, if a kraken attacks, he'll
Yes.
go hide, like
He-
under a
your
table, like
pets
your
react to the
monkey.
world.
Yeah.
So I was in the Devil's Roar. I call it the Roar now. So I was out in the Roar.
Devil's
Yeah,
anus.
the Devil's
The devil's anus.
It roars.
I was out in the Roar, and we got hit by a volcano. A big old Cadillac-sized rock came and nailed our ship, and my parrot started freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "Dude, buddy, hey, hold
Dude,
on.
hey, whoa.
Oh, hey, calm down.
Whoa.
It's okay." Anyway, I really like the addition of the pets. I think they're super fun. Another cool way to just customize your ship.
Yeah.
I was a little bummed that you actually had to pay for the pet, which they did
The
talk.
ship just jumped out of the water.
Yeah, that's one of the skull ships.
Whoa.
I was a little bummed that I actually had to pay for the pet, but I mean, it is what it is. I really like the game, so I don't mind supporting the developer. And that's essentially, and the developer was very transparent with what it is. They said, "Hey, look, guys, this is a live game," and I agree with them. I mean, it's a live game.
They have to
Games
have-
aren't cheap.
They have to have
make.
something
I mean,
to
yeah,
monetize to continue to support it.
exactly right. I mean, yes, we did all buy it when it first came out. But I mean, that's what 2-3 years ago now, right? So so I mean, you do need to support them some way. So I don't mind spending.
How were
$6
the
to support
prices?
them.
Do you think they were reasonable? Because that sometimes
I mean,
that's what makes or break it.
It
if
all
the
it all
prices are
depends on your
reasonable.
it all depends on your preference. Shooting a parrot out of a cannon is worth $6 to me. It may not be worth $6 to you,
Yeah,
but they set it up so
but you have your pet with you forever. It's like buying,
yeah, it doesn't.
It's like
I was
buying a
actually
companion.
I was thinking, I was like, dude, can we kill other people's pets?
that would be cool. And then it's
Pirate.
permadeath. Now, see,
Pirate.
sounding to see a crappy way to do a
Permadeath.
store. If someone could kill your bird or your monkey for permadeath,
and that-
then you had to go back and rebuy another one.
Yeah. What is funny is you actually, if you get into a fight with a crew, you can go steal their monkey and then sail away. The monkey will eventually get bored with you because you're not its master and go back to its thing. But I thought if it wasn't real paid money, I thought that would have been a hilarious feature to actually be able to steal someone's pet forever.
Dude,
That would
be
be
hilarious.
But since it's paid money,
there
you
you
can't
go.
do that. They all come back.
Sea
to you,
of
so.
Thieves
Pirate.
store. It's here.
Yeah,
Be a
so
pirate.
Sea of Thieves store. Check
Get
it
a
out.
monkey.
I mean, let me know what you think. Whenever games start to monetize things, everybody has different opinions. So I think in the grand scheme of things, Sea of Thieves did it correctly, and I appreciate that over a game and don't take this the wrong way because I really do like this game a lot. But Overwatch, I'm not a huge fan of the loot box system. I'd rather see what I'm buying and buy it. Right?
You chose the worst loot box system in the history of mankind.
Well, I
to
had
say
to.
you're
You
not
had
a
to
fan
use.
of.
You had to use.
I know.
you had
I'm
to
just
use,
saying
that
that one's terrible.
And then the original Star Wars one was pretty bad too until they fixed it.
Until they released the game.
And then they fixed it. So for a week it was awful, and then they fixed it.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, next.
Okay, next story now.
Okay,
go.
Anyway, moving on. I really want to try this game, but
NHL.
NHL.
It's always one of the best
everybody
sports
says
franchises.
yeah,
It's
everybody
so
says
good.
It's great.
Yeah, it's so good. You don't even have to know hockey. Well, here's all hockey is. It's soccer on ice. Indoor soccer on ice.
It's linebackers on ice.
Yeah, it's indoor soccer with robot wars on ice.
You don't have to know anything
have to
about
know
it.
anything.
Just know that
Just
it's
know all of these
Robot
things.
War.
No,
Wars.
I get excited for these games every year, especially
But
the
it's
NHL
so
ones.
good.
But I've yet to play one. I want to play one. Maybe.
So,
David and
and
I
this
should
is what
do
makes me
something.
laugh. Everybody's so quick to criticize EA, like, oh, EA, are they going to go under? No. They're not going to go under, guys, just because what? Because they messed up on Anthem, and they're still supporting it.
When I don't think they messed up on it.
Or Apex Legends is still crushing it. It's a great game. But,
yeah, I don't think they messed up on that
but
either.
they have FIFA, huge. They have Madden, ginormous. And they have NHL, huge. Like, they're not winning in the NBA one, but they're doing a good job of trying to come back and compete with 2K. But they are just, and NHL is proof. NHL is such a good series
Well, and let's be
for
honest,
EA.
people still play Anthem and people still play Apex.
I think
Well,
there's
Apex-
like a couple people left to play those. You're right.
No, but Apex.
Oh, Apex, everybody
Apex
plays.
is crushing
I
it.
thought you were
yeah.
talking about Anthem.
Yeah.
No, Anthem. Well, and Anthem. I mean, yes, it didn't have a lot of features in it, but the core gameplay was awesome.
Yeah. No, agreed. Yeah.
It just lacked the end stuff.
Yeah.
But they're continuously updating them, and I support that.
I support that too.
Hey, look.
Well, didn't Anthem just go into the vault recently, like this week?
Oh, on EA Access?
It
I
may
think
have.
I think
think it did.
I think it went into
They,
the vault.
they
this
came out
week.
with a big update a few weeks
Dude,
ago.
you
So-
know what's in the vault that I want to play because people have been clipping it on Clutch and sending me highlights of it? Skate 3. And the highlights are Death Star Destroyer actually in chat has been sending me
Skate was a good
highlights.
game, man.
And it's hilarious. I want to play it makes me want to play that game. It's so good. So good.
Skate was good. Those were cool games.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Boom, NHL, here it comes.
Look,
it's on its way.
I never count games out because I have seen awful games
No Man's Sky.
turn around. Yeah, even
Diablo.
Even
Diablo. No, that's kind.
no, even games
got, like,
like
Tourette's?
the biggest game I've ever seen do it literally was Final Fantasy Online.
Final Fantasy Online.
Yeah.
FF
And
Online.
to be honest with you, Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when we played that
They
game?
took a
You
because that
you shot the guy in front of you and killed the guy over there. You know what I mean? Like it was not ready to be released.
No,
and
it was
they
a launch title for OG Xbox
yeah, and
One.
they stuck with it, and they to Dice's credit came out, did a fantastic job.
Fantastimo.
Then they screwed up their marketing on Battlefield 5. So
But
and
now
they're,
that's
but
a
they're
great
coming
game,
around,
right?
right?
That's a great
yeah.
game.
So, but I mean,
So well done.
yeah. Anyway, so that being said, I don't count games out. I don't know
Can
how
I
we got
talk
onto
about
that.
this story? The next story, this last and final story.
It's actually there's one more. Before
Oh,
that.
damn,
Yeah,
okay.
I think my Dr Pepper was in the way. Sorry. My bad.
Oh yeah. You wanna
The
run
next
those
story
updates?
is the next story is the new update for DC Universe Online.
I don't know that story.
Because you don't play the game.
I don't play
man.
that game. Sorry.
I actually I think this game's fun, even though I don't play it all that much.
But you have.
I have when it first came out. I
Yeah.
played it a lot, like way back.
I mean,
when.
who doesn't want to be a superhero in an
Yeah,
MMO?
and yeah, it's freaking awesome.
look at that. Look at that right there. You're just a superhero flying around.
This is really cool.
Now it's no WoW or WoW Classic.
No,
but it
not
is.
at all.
What
but
it is DC
it's-
Universe Online.
Yeah, and it's super cool. And they got some new stuff coming out. They got, I believe they
Wow,
have.
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is. Like,
Now
holy
that's
crap.
a raid.
Yeah.
What?
That's a superhero raid
That's a
right
raid
there.
with mushrooms.
Woo.
So, anyway,
They got a bunch of updates.
yeah, they got a bunch of updates coming out, which is really cool. This weekend they have a Batman Day 2019. So this upcoming Saturday, which will be or this next upcoming Saturday,
They want Mark in
September
their game.
21st.
That's how they're like, how can we get Mr. McSpicy of the X1Bros in our game?
Oh no,
Like
sorry,
Batman Day.
I know. Batman Day.
Batman Day. Yeah,
Free for
So,
everyone.
Wait,
From one of the things they've added
this
here,
is like this is their Bat. There isn't an actual Batman Day, right?
So
I'm not going to get like a
It's-
random text message that says it's Batman Day.
It's Batman Day.
Go and get your Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Happy Batman Day.
yeah,
Wear
yeah.
a Batman costume to Chick-fil-A.
I'm
Get a
actually-
free Chick-fil-A sandwich.
I don't mean to derail the conversation,
That's
but
okay.
I hate random days.
Oh, yeah. Like National Donut Day.
Who says it is?
The donut.
I don't. It's
The
National
donut
Wiener
people.
Schnitzel Day. Come get your wieners.
Interesting that your mind goes to Wiener.
Well, I
Are
get
you
those
looking-
texts all the time.
Wiener text?
I get a wiener don't you?
Oh, I don't.
I used to.
I'm not
I
in
used
that
to get the
group,
ones
I'm
that say you get
I
bigger
mean,
ones.
I have sent Wiener texts, but I've never received any.
Anyway, real quick, from September 13th through the 30th, you can log in and get a cool Batman Day T-shirt. They got some new updates coming out. One I believe is already out, Metal Part 1, and then Metal Part 2 is due out in December, so really cool.
Yes.
Moving on to the last story, though.
Yes.
Red Dead Online Summer Update is now out.
Let's get into it, shall we? This was an update, and I'm thinking when news comes out that this summer update is coming and they're adding roles, I'm thinking, oh, awesome, that'll be cool. This is the next step in the Red Dead Online thing. I did not realize, one, how big of an update it is. It's a 13 gig update. So
Why is everything about size to you?
It's the same reason everything's about wieners to you.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
In fact, the exact same reason. No, Red Dead Online, 13 gigs, and I downloaded on my Xbox, and I'm thinking, this is huge. Like, wow, what did they do? And they did
What did
everything.
they add?
They did everything. So first and foremost, the biggest news here in Red Dead Online is they've added roles. Now, there's 3 roles that you can get into. There is the trader role. We talked about this last week. There's the trader role, the collectionist role, and the trader role, collectionist role, and the bounty hunter role. Bounty hunter is self-explanatory. Trader and collectionist. Traders like your hunting, your skins, your pelts, stuff like that. You bring it back, and then you make money off those. You create a little shop. And then your collectionist is actually super cool. Get this. When you go to do a collectionist, there's a gypsy on the side of the road.
Oh, yeah.
And you do missions with her. And
Yeah,
it's
you do.
super cool. And it's collectionist. You go and find all the tarot cards. You go and find the flowers, plants, stuff like that. You
Yeah.
bring them back. Let me give you, if you find there's 14 tarot cards, if you find 4 of them, all 4 of them, the whole set, which is pretty easy to do. It's not super hard, but
Yeah,
it's
you
more
just
difficult
find
than
them.
other missions. But it's like $400 that you get
That's
for it.
not
$270. It's super high. Anyway, so these roles are here. I've had a chance to jump in and play the roles. The roles, we're just going to talk about roles in this update right now for this segment. The roles in this game, Red Dead Online, now make Red Dead Online worth playing. And I don't think I'm going to be leaving it anytime soon. This is the best. One of the complaints is it's so hard to, 1, make money, and 2, level up with experience in that game. Because you'd go, even in Player Beef Player, you do a bunch of Player Beef Player, which takes 30 minutes to go through a match, you get 200 XP, right? It's nothing out of thousands that you need to get to the next level. One trip with the trader, and you're getting like 400 XP, you're getting $50. This is step 1. Player housing is next. You can see it coming. But this is not all that they did. They've completely. It now is up there with Grand Theft Auto Online. Maybe not fully, but at least competing to where, yes, I want to be in. I want to be playing. They have a battle pass. They added a battle pass. I don't think Grand Theft Online has a battle pass.
I haven't played
at
in a
all.
while, so I don't know.
It's called the Outlaw
Pass.
It literally is called the Outlaw Pass. That is what it's
That
called.
was their stuff guy thought of that one.
Why don't I
It's-
just call it the Outlaw
So
Pass?
the Outlaw Pass is there. It's 35 in-game gold, which I think works out to be $10.
$10 usually.
So I purchased it.
Well, what's awesome
Same
is-
thing. It has the free, just like a battle pass up top as you level up through the season. The season ends on November 18th. As you level up, you're getting cool stuff. And down here, you're getting really cool stuff. Wow. Like, you get these cool costumes, like masks that you can put on your horses, this cool clothes, everything, all the way across that you're earning.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, so that's just one level up system. Then each of your trades, each of your roles that you have, also level up. So that's your general level up. Then you can level up each of your trades and unlock in their own customized things that are specific to each of the trades. Like, for instance, for the tradesmen, there is a hunter wagon you can unlock. A permanent wagon that is yours that you take hunting, so you can just pile it up with stuff. Because on your horse, you can only do pelts and like one big like buffalo pelt, right? Like, that's all that fits there. It is amazing. There is so much to do in this game. I'm having a blast. I think I'm level 7 now on the Outlaw Pass. I didn't know the Outlaw Pass was a part of this season. There's also your typical PvP and stuff like that you could do. But just bringing roles. Also, you can do all 3 roles. I've done all 3 roles.
I was going to ask you that.
Simultaneously, you just got to unlock them. So there is always something you can. So one of the things that's nice is I'm doing a collectionist activity on my way. I see someone that I need to hunt. I see a buffalo. Boom, shoot the buffalo. 3-star, skin it, put it on my horse, finish the collectionist, drop off my pelt at my tradesman. He fixes it up. Then I've got to go deliver it. You can do local deliveries, which pay a certain amount, or you can do distance deliveries, which pay a greater amount. it's like, for instance, a short one would be like 50
Can
bucks.
someone shoot you on the delivery?
Yes.
I like that.
Not only that, if someone else has upgraded their trades to a certain level, they can see on the map everyone that's delivering trades and go and take them. It's the coolest.
I like that.
It's the coolest system.
That's awesome.
Red Dead Online is here, and it's legit. If you were in Red Dead Online and you were super excited about it, thought it was going to be like Grand Theft Auto Online, and then were disappointed because there was nothing to do, because let's be honest, there really was nothing to do. Just
Now
this
there's something to
update,
do.
there is not just something to do. There's tons to do, and it's all legit, really good, and you want to earn it. And the battle pass is genius.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
way to go, Rockstar. Way to nail it. Out of all the 3 trades, the trader is my favorite, and collection is number 2. The bounties are freaking hard, way hard, because you only get like $10 for bringing someone in dead. Most of them are dead or alive, but you get like $80 to bring in someone alive. But it's so we'd have to posse up to do it to even stand a chance, because each bounty, they're surrounded by a gang of 15 to 20 people, and you don't know which one of the guys is it. You can unlock a thing that like lets you dead eye it, that kind of brings him up, but then he's fighting you too. I've only been able to bring dead bodies back so far, but eventually, so on the tradesman you get the permanent wagon.
Yeah.
On the bounty hunter, you get to a level and you unlock a permanent prison wagon. And then you can pick up multiple bounties and you throw them in your paddy
that's
wagon,
cool.
and you drive to the next bounty and throw him in your paddy wagon and
That's
just
funny.
make tons of money. It's super sweet. I'm really excited. Red Dead Online is here. Go check it out, guys.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Are the professions mutually exclusive? Meaning, can you only have one at a time, or do you have all 3 of them?
I have all
and
three.
you-
I have
you
all
can
3,
do
and I'm doing them simultaneously.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 of them, bounty costs no money. Both trade and collectionist to get the licenses, they call them, cost gold. It's like 15 gold, and the trade one is a lot of gold. It was like 20 gold. But I had that. I think you'll have that gold.
Well,
too,
what's
just
really
by
cool
nature
about
of
this
logging.
profession is you can always add more later.
And they said they are. They
Yeah.
said that they're going to
Oh,
add
yeah.
more professions later. It's genius. Like, they just gave me. You like hunting, Mark?
Yeah.
You're gonna love it now. It actually has meaning now, right? Remember before you
Before
hunt,
you just murdered animals.
yeah, before you take it, and when you take it to the butcher and you get 50 cents, right?
Now you can take it to the butcher.
Now you take it to your trades table, and then
Oh.
you've got to drive it somewhere and hope to high heaven that no one tries to rob you,
Wild
or bring a
West.
The Wild
posse, or
West.
bring a posse with you.
I thought you say prostitute.
No.
Or ring a prostitute.
Hey,
because
I-
you know I'll get distracted.
I bet you that's going to be a profession.
Hey, that would be a
and
great
then-
profession.
And then you.
One dance for 10, 2 for 25.
Well, no, and then when you turn it in, you get so much money, though. It's so cool. So I'm gonna level up. I'm gonna try to get leveled up fully. I posseed up with some people. I posseed up with some really high people who had some sweet horses and stuff. And it's just fun. Red Dead Online. It's there. Let's jump in. Let's
So-
posse up, baby.
I was playing World of Warcraft Classic, and
Yeah.
with I think you were there.
Probably.
Yeah, I think you were there.
Been in that game quite a
And
lot.
there was a person dancing at the auction house, and their username was "Will Dance for Money." Oh. And it was just they had no clothes on; they had their underwear on, and they were just dancing at the auction house. So
So it can be done.
it can be
It
done.
can be done.
It can be
Moral of the
done.
story: if you think it, you can do it.
Which I actually think that they're probably making some good change.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Gold
that's
is hard to come by in that game.
And that brings us to the last segment of our show.
Oh, hold on one sec.
No worries.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. It feels so good. This is the portion of the show where we take your questions, we discuss them. To submit a question, you can do so every week over on Patreon, XoneBros.com/support or Patreon.com/positive gaming. First question comes from OKC Wildcat. He says, which competitive online shooter would you recommend for someone who is not very good at them? This is an excellent question because I think there's a lot of people who think they're not good at first-person shooters. And I think that's actually not true. I think everyone
Yeah.
is good at first-person shooters. They just don't know it, or
Well,
can
good
be
enough.
can be good enough to play and enjoy a first-person shooter, even a competitive first-person shooter. They just don't know it. And proof is me. I thought I was done with first-person shooters, and I'm ranking up in Halo. I'm having fun in Apex, but it's getting even over the intimidation factor of like, oh, all these guys are so good, and I'm doing it. I'm doing a lot of it live on stream, so it's extra embarrassing to suck. But once you get over that and you just get 5 games under your belt, From 1 to 5, you will see a drastic change in ability. For an online competitive shooter, I don't know. I think Spicy, you will probably be the best one. But for my personal taste, I would want to pick a game that gives you the opportunity to shoot a lot fast. So I would not pick a battle royale, because a battle royale, you get one opportunity to shoot someone, and you're not shooting fast necessarily. You're not shooting a lot, so you're not getting good. I'd pick a Halo, honestly, something like that. I'd pick something like Team Deathmatch, anything with a Team Deathmatch, a Call of Duty, a Halo.
Well, it's almost a hard question, because when you say which competitive online shooter would you want to recommend, I mean, they're competitive, which means they're going to have a skill.
Oh yeah,
right. You know, so
and
Halo.
I'd start out in social on a Halo. I would do Halo because I've been doing Halo for personal experience. I've been doing Halo, and I've been getting better at Halo.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, but I really have. Like, I've been practicing, I've been paying attention, and I've been enjoying it all along the way. And that is carrying over to a game like Apex.
Yeah.
It doesn't carry over at all to Fortnite, but we'll talk about that.
Well,
another time.
I guess my point would be is because they're competitive shooters, they're all obviously going to have a skill, right? I mean, you need to get good at them. I mean, it's almost hard to answer which one's easiest to get into, because they all have their own skills, like Halo, Fortnite, Apex, right?
But I would pick one that transfers over.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because what I would say is just pick one that looks fun for you.
Yeah.
And then the more you play, you're
even
going to
something
get
like
better,
a Titanfall
right?
2 still has a pretty strong community.
Yeah.
A Rainbow Six, mixed spicy.
I would. Excuse me.
First of all, am I wrong? Am I thinking about that wrong?
Well, I think it's fine to think that way.
Sure.
But skill levels in any game is all relative, right?
Great point.
So,
Great point.
If you're concerned about being good or not, I would choose a game that has a really good ranking system, like a good MMR, which is I think that stands for multiplayer matchmaking ranking, if I remember right.
Yeah.
That's the term that Blizzard has coined, and I think that's what we use. But a good ranking system will consistently try to put you at 50% win-loss, which means if you're losing a lot, it'll put you against easier people. If you're winning a lot, it'll put you against more, difficult opponents. I think Halo has the best ranking system of all the first-person shooters out there. That's on console anyways. I would suggest Halo to just start. You'll have some matches that it'll figure out where to place you. As you lose, it may get tough, but initially, but once it figures you out, you're gonna enjoy the game. It's all relative. Don't worry about being the best. If you're really, really new to first-person shooters, I would suggest playing a single-player game like a Doom or a Wolfenstein or even Borderlands 3 just came out.
Even a Halo.
Halo has a great single-player campaign that will allow you to play the game at your own pace to figure out the joysticks.
And enjoy the story. Pick one with a good story.
Yeah.
That's why. Well, Doom doesn't have a good story, but Doom just feels so.
So the short answer is I would choose Halo if you really just want to get into it, and that ranking system I think is the best. It'll put you with people at your same level. Don't worry about being the best. I think once you start worrying about being the best, the game will start to stress you out. And that's not what that game, it's not what gaming's about. It's about relaxation. In my opinion, it's about enjoying the game. Although it is fun to choose a game to be really competitive at.
Yeah.
And just, me and Jordan and David, we have a rule. We choose one game.
Mine is Madden.
His is Madden.
And sometimes FIFA.
Mine's Overwatch.
When I care about FIFA.
Jordan skips around a little bit. Halo, Overwatch, whatever he's feeling in the mood for. But choose a game that you want to be competitive in, because when you turn that switch on that you're being competitive, that's when it gets stressful. That's when you want to do better. That's etc.
Well, I'll give you an example. I think Halo's a good one because it's a simplified. You don't got to worry about like if someone shoots that canister behind me, it will blow up or anything like that, right? Like, it's just shooting, and the guns are all on the map. It's got probably the least amount of guns to learn. So it's just super simple, basic shooting mechanics. So I think that's the best one to learn. I'll give it Mark. That brings up a great point that it is relative. So as I have been getting better, like I'm going through the gold ladder now this season, and just today I was playing, and normally I'm to the point now where I'm like number 1 or number 2 each match, and I'm going like 15 and 7, 18 and 6, 20 and 9, stuff, my kill to death ratio. All of a sudden today, I'm going 7. And it's reverse. It just reverse those numbers, right? But I'm still winning. My team is winning, but now I'm the last one on my team, and those numbers are reversed. And when you look afterwards, it's because I'm playing diamond players now. So I've never played diamond players. I must not have, right? And at first I was getting frustrated, but then when I realized who I was playing, it actually was like, oh, cool. So now I'm just playing against better competition, and it's just faster. And as it went
will then
along,
make you
I
better.
caught up and was starting to even out my kill to death ratio and really help contribute to my team, stuff like that. So it's just, it does a really good job in those ladders by itself, training you, right? You go at your own pace, and as you get better, it'll bump you up.
Yeah, good question. I enjoyed.
Yeah, that was a great question. Thank you very much. OKC Wildcat, well done. Cowsnap writes in. Jordan, you can answer this one. Cowsnap says, should multiplayer games be designed to allow friends of all skill levels to play together at the same level, aka rubber band or supplemental team roles, etc., or should it be where the skill and level gaps reign? What are your thoughts?
This is an interesting question. Let's dial that into competitive multiplayer, because Borderlands 3 has a really good system where it doesn't matter what level you are, you can still play with each other, and it'll scale the bad guys
Sure.
per player.
Well, I think we're all in
So
agreement.
I don't
that
think we're talking
any
about
type
that.
of co-op should bring you together. Or what about an MMO? Or would an MMO be a separate class? So, for instance, like an ESO. Or,
I mean, I prefer skill gaps in MMOs. I mean, that's
Okay.
what leveling is for, right?
Sure.
Well, and then when you get to an MMO, like PvP in an MMO, they have the same system. Blizzard has the same system in Warcraft, a matchmaking rating, right?
So
When you're talking about, if we're talking competitive, then no, you need to have your skill gaps, because if you're jumping into Halo for the first time and you're getting matchmake with the Grandmasters, you're not going to have fun. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's a reason,
and
they
they're
have
not
brackets.
having fun either.
Yeah, there's a
When
reason
you're
you have brackets.
bending someone over so hard.
I mean, it'll probably be fun for them for like 10 minutes.
It really isn't though. I've been
For me, I like to, if I'm beating
Okay.
them so hard, I mean, there's 10 minutes of like, yeah, that was nice.
But
well,
that's-
so
and
for
then you
instance,
just
in
feel
Halo,
bad.
You know when someone's just standing there because they like had to step away? I love shooting that guy in the head.
Hell yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
10 minutes. I'll give you 10 minutes.
Because me and Jordan have had some games where we bent over the other team.
And you're just like,
And-
yes.
But the reason that felt good is because we were the other team so many
getting
times.
bent over.
We were getting bent over. You were getting bent over.
Yeah, I think let's talk about what this question I think is actually trying to say. I think he's asking, should those skill gaps be supplemented by the game pulling those players together in some sort of handicap? By some sort of handicap. For example, let's say less skilled players have more HP, or they have some sort of assistance. Actually, I don't know of any game that really does that. I know like Call of Duty would penalize fast connections, which really bugged me. But they would penalize fast connections by faking I don't know how the technical term for it. They would make the fastest connection have the same connection as the lowest connection, which in turn on the lowest connection, it seemed normal. On the high speed, it felt like there was a lot of lag
Sure.
and latency issues, which I think was a complete mistake by Modern Warfare 3 to do that and to
Well,
do it
were
that
they
way.
on? They weren't on. They weren't on their own servers.
No,
They were on everyone.
peer-to-peer.
Everyone
It was
boxes,
peer to peer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Servers that's
changes everything.
That's not.
When
that big
is there
of an
anyone
issue.
that's peer to peer now?
Dedicated servers have become a much bigger thing lately.
I don't.
but-
Yeah.
So I don't like stuff like that, but I don't know if that is the case.
If we're
with any
talking
game out.
talking multiplayer PvP, I think there needs to be skill gaps and
Yeah.
brackets and
Well,
MMR. I mean, that's how you get better, right? I mean, if you're never, I mean, that's
imagine LeBron James playing at someone's high school.
yeah,
It's
just
not going to be.
good.
It's going to
I
be.
mean, I think I would like to see it.
well,
But after
okay,
one
but,
game,
but you didn't know it was LeBron James. It's
After
just
one
like,
game, it would be over.
it's like 305-2. Nobody wants to watch a
Yeah.
game like that. Nobody wants to be on. That's
Just put LeBron James in the WNBA. He'd score like 400 points. I would pay to see that, actually. Just once. After that, it'd be boring. Be like, his team's
Maybe.
going to win.
So that's a 10
Wait,
minute
I know
rule.
who's going to win this game. This game.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
Yeah. What was the over under on that one?
But if you take it into like a cooperative setting, like, but see, that's hard too, because if you take a game like Destiny, I believe there should be skill gaps as well, right? Even though that is a cooperative game, but someone who puts in the time to get that extra light level, or a game like World of Warcraft deserves to have that higher level, right?
Yeah.
someone who completes the raid, completes the dungeon or whatever, right? Now, I think it's a game-by-game basis, because you take Borderlands 3, for example, where they do a scaling. I think that's okay.
Co-op games I think is totally fine, and I think that's what he's in
Yeah.
chat. CalSnap's in chat right now. He says friends playing together for fun. So
Yeah, so co-op games like a Borderlands, but see, that's where, because Destiny is technically co-op, right? So is World of Warcraft, where I agree having a skill cap in games like those, because if David did the raid every week, Vault of Glass, let's just go back to Destiny 1. David does Vault of Glass or Taken King every week, and he gets the full set of gear, and then I come in on day one. Basically the Diablo situation, right? And then I come in on day one and go, oh, David, yeah, I have all your same gear, and I did nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I believe there needs to be a skill gap.
So-
like the Diablo situation you had, right?
Yeah.
Where you spent like 3 weeks, and then me and David just came in and beat
That
your
was
guys.
so
I came in
frustrating.
and leveled up in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, they have seasons for new listeners. They have seasons in Diablo, and you start a new character, you build them up. I took 3 weeks building up this character. David over there on the other side of the room
Took
decided
3
to
minutes.
join up with
Non-prophetic took me through. My man,
and
non-prophetic.
he got to my level in 3 freaking minutes.
It was
It
amazing.
was so funny. It was like 1 or 2 dungeon runs. It was hilarious.
So,
But-
CowSnap, Mario Kart, he says this, and this is an interesting point. Mario Kart has rubber banding. I absolutely hate that in that game. I
Wait,
turn
rubber
that off-
banding on purpose or because?
Correct,
Okay.
because children, for example, don't necessarily turn left when they're supposed to.
Does it give you an option to turn it off?
No.
It does.
Oh, it does?
Oh, it does?
It does.
Oh, that's
You mean
nice.
they have a
It's
rubber banding option?
It's by default on.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
I
interesting.
didn't know it let you turn it off.
Yeah.
I
it's
think-
by default on.
I have no problem with that if they give you the option to turn it off.
But
But I
have-
don't think it should be default on.
It's basically...
It should be default
Okay.
off, and then you get the option to turn on kids mode, right?
I would consider us... Like, let's say we're bowlers, okay? And we've been bowling for years.
Sure.
Let's say that a bowling alley has the bumpers on by default.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah.
That's what Mario Kart is doing.
No, you got to have them off by default, but give you the option to
But
turn
then
them on.
you... Oh, he's 5 years old. Okay, let's put the bumpers on for that kid.
Well, I think because Mario came out during the Nintendo Wii U era, and I think their plan during that area was to get everybody to play their game, to make their game as easy as possible. Because you notice
Which
now that
destroyed it for me.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. But if you notice with the Switch, they're getting, first of all, a lot more third-party games, more serious games, but a lot of their games are much more competitive. Like, yeah, you got to be good. Like the new Super Mario Odyssey, right, is a challenging game, right? It's not
Okay.
like a... it's a yeah,
okay.
it's a challenging game, right?
Yeah.
So, but
Great.
I just think they had
Yeah, so I would say final answer, case-by-case basis. PvP multiplayer, absolutely not. We need the skill gaps to enjoy the game. With co-op, it's a case-by-case basis. I would consider Mario Kart is supposed to be competitive, but they made it very uncompetitive by adding that in. So I would say depends.
Great question, CowSnap. Thank you very much for writing in. Last question comes from the man, John Drake. Spicy, this one's for you as well. And then I'd like to... Actually, let's jump to Jordan first, and then Spicy. John Drake writes in and says, when a game like Gear 5 launches, do you jump straight into multiplayer, or do you prefer to complete the campaign first? Which do you prioritize, and why?
This is way funny. So the week before, I'm getting amped and hyped for a game like Gears 5, and I'm excited to play the campaign because the campaign is freaking awesome. You know it's going to be awesome. Gears is a cool game. And then when that, it unlocks, you load it up, and then you see new game, my voice cracked, new game, multiplayer. And you're like, whoa.
Oh,
You mean I can play multiplayer right
I
now?
can play horde mode?
My plan is to play the single player campaign, but damn it, I end up playing the multiplayer and I never go back to play the campaign. This has happened to Halo.
The Gears 5 multiplayer is really fun.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. These multiplayer versions are, they're so good, they're so fun, and I feel like I will be missing out if I don't start playing the multiplayer ASAP.
Well, and for me, if I only have like 10 minutes, right? Or not even 10, I've got 30 minutes and it's multiplayer, I think I can jump in and out of multiplayer and I don't have time to dedicate to the campaign. So multiplayer sucks me in that way sometimes
Yeah,
instead of campaign. In Gears, though, it didn't. In Gears, I went straight for the campaign.
yeah, good
So
for you.
it does depend on the game.
Yeah, good for you.
Jordan, how about you? How do you prioritize?
Well,
and why?
usually I do the campaign first, especially with the Gears games. But the person I've played and beaten the Gears games with since number 1 has not jumped on Gears yet. So I've been waiting for him. So in this case, I've gone to the multiplayer.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of show where we have to tell Jordan that he is our family's bastard. The reason that Jonathan doesn't play with you and leaves you hanging is because you're a bastard. And we were raised as we grew up as children that you never make promises with the bastard. He's a low priority. He's not a high priority. He doesn't, when you make a promise to a bastard like Jordan, you don't have to keep that promise. So it's nothing against you personally, Jordan. It's just the nature of your station in life and within our family. You are our family's bastard.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, well,
That's
so
why.
so this time
That's why Jono doesn't play with you.
Yeah, so at this time, for the first time between a Gears and a Halo game, I've jumped into the multiplayer first. But
There you go.
There's a man in chat. Jordan's just laughing it off, but you can tell it cuts deep.
That is funny. Oh, guys. Well, great question, John Drake. Appreciate it. Great questions this week, everybody. We appreciate it. That does us for the week. What a week it's been. I'm telling you. Guys, we need to posse up and Red Dead Online. I'm telling you. It is, I think, again, I said this way back when. I think Grand Theft Auto Online is the beta for what Red Dead Online is going to be. And they just took one giant leap forward with this summer update, and the Battle Pass is genius. It's
I
so
believe
cool.
it's the Outlaw Pass.
I'm sorry, the Outlaw Pass. Yes, it's so cool. I love it. It's so much to do.
It's cool.
So come join me.
Yeah, I will.
Join me. McSpicy, any final words before we can probably hit the outro button? Why don't you handle the last 20 seconds here?
Do you want me to handle?
Yeah, I want you. I want to see final thoughts, final words as we head out for the weekend. Dude, I can't wait. I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow.
Okay.
I haven't slept in all week. Sleeping in for me is like 7 a.m. So I can't wait.
Yeah. That's funny. I want you to handle the outro. I'm going to keep talking about...
I mean, that's just my nature.
Anyways, no. I really am excited to play Borderlands. I might get back into Red Dead. I saw you streaming it.
Dude, it's so good.
Thanks to everybody, all your support.
Yes.
It makes all the difference in the world. I'm in awe every time we get some support from you.
We love
so
you
thank
guys.
you, everybody.
Have a good one.